The echoes of San Francisco were still haunting the world of tennis when Carlos Alcaraz boarded a plane to Asia. Just days had passed since Europe surrendered its crown at the Labour Cup, a stage where the Spanish prodigy carried his team almost single-handedly, yet still walked away with the bitter taste of defeat against Taylor Fritz. That sting of disappointment could have broken anyone else, but Alcaraz is not just anyone, he is the #1 in the world. A player built for pressure, fueled by challenge, and destined to turn setbacks into fire. His next stop, the historic ATP 500 of Tokyo, a tournament of elegance and tradition where every shot echoes under the retractable roof of the Ariake Coliseum, and every mistake is punished by relentless rivals hungry to bring down the king. From the Tokyo greeted Carlos Alcaraz not with comfort, but with fire. His very first opponent was Sebastián Baez, a fierce Argentine fighter, better known for his clay court battles, but dangerous enough to disrupt rhythm on hard courts if given the chance. For Alcaraz, there was no room for complacency. The memories of San Francisco were still fresh, and one misstep here could open the door to critics ready to question his #1 status. From the first ball, Baez pushed him into long rallies, testing his patience and forcing him to grind for every single point. The Spanish champion had to dig deep into his arsenal heavy topspin forehands, delicate drop shots, lightning volleys at the net, mixing brilliance with discipline. Though he secured the win in straight sets, it was far from effortless. His serve wavered, his composure was tested, and in moments of pressure, he was forced to improvise solutions. But that was the lesson. In Tokyo, nothing would come easy, not even the opening round. After the hard-fought win over Baez, Alcaraz was quickly thrust into another challenge. Alejandro Tabilo, the unpredictable lefty from Chile. Tabilo had just knocked out Cesar Bergs in the first round, and while not ranked among the tournament's top seeds, his variety and finesse made him a dangerous opponent on any given day. From the start, it was clear this match would require more than just power. It would demand flexibility, creativity, and mental fortitude. Tabilo's spins and angled shots were designed to push Alcaraz out of his comfort zone, forcing him to move more and rethink his strategy at every turn. Alcaraz, ever the tactician, responded with his own variety, mixing deep, aggressive strokes with delicate slice backhands and precise volleys. Despite the challenges, Alcaraz's focus remained unbroken. He adapted, adjusted, and ultimately wore Tabilo down, progressing into the quarterfinals. But with each match, the stakes only grew higher, the pressure to perform as the world #1 was constant, and every win felt like another step towards proving his dominance. The quarterfinals brought a new challenge in the form of Frances Tiafoe, a player who had shown his ability to thrive under the bright lights of big tournaments. The American was known for his explosive athleticism, incredible movement, and ability to rise to the occasion in front of a crowd. His aggressive baseline game and relentless energy made him a threat to anyone on the tour, including the world #1. From the very first point, the intensity was palpable. The first set was a back-and-forth battle, each player pushing the other to their limits. Alcaraz, usually so dominant, found himself facing adversity for the first time in Tokyo. Tiafoe's booming serve and confident returns rattled Alcaraz, who had to dig deep to stay in the contest. A tight tiebreaker decided the opening set in favor of Tiafoe, forcing Alcaraz into a rare position of needing to fight back. The match had become a mental and physical grind, but Alcaraz's resilience shone through. With his back against the wall, he recalibrated. The semifinal showdown in Tokyo was set to be one of the most tactical battles of the tournament. Carlos Alcaraz's opponent, Casper Ruud, a player who knew him well, having faced him in numerous high-stakes matches. Their rivalry was one of calculated precision versus raw, youthful energy. Ruud, a master of patience and consistency, was known for stretching rallies and forcing his opponents to outlast him, something that Alcaraz would need to adjust for. The match was a strategic chess match, with each player trying to outthink the other. From the very first game, it became evident that Alcaraz's usual aggressive style would need to be tempered by patience. Ruud expertly prolonged the rallies, chipping away at Alcaraz's concentration, forcing him into uncomfortable positions along the baseline. Alcaraz's initial frustrations were palpable as Ruud controlled the pace of the first set, but the Spaniard wasn't one to give in easily. As the match progressed, Alcaraz adjusted his game, flattening his ground strokes and finding his rhythm on serve. The second and third sets were a battle of wills, with Alcaraz slowly taking control through his powerful baseline play and quick decision-making. A crucial break in the final in Tokyo was everything Carlos Alcaraz had been working toward a rematch with Taylor Fritz, his nemesis from the Laver Cup. The American's victory there had lingered in Alcaraz's mind, a constant reminder that every champion faces setbacks. But this final wasn't just about the title, it was personal. Fritz had been the one to dethrone Europe's dominance, and now Alcaraz had the chance to rewrite that narrative. From the very first point of the final, it was clear that this match would be an all-out battle. Fritz, with his powerful serve and aggressive forehand, was the perfect foil to Alcaraz's dynamic play. The first set was a tense back and forth, with both players holding serve until a tiebreak decided it. Alcaraz, ever the competitor, showed his ability to thrive under pressure, saving 2 set points before sealing the first set with a brilliant backhand winner. But Fritz wasn't backing down. The American came out strong in the second set, using his serve to dominate, and with the title secured, Alcaraz stood tall in Tokyo, his victory carrying much more weight than just another ATP 500 crown. This was redemption. This was proof that the #1 ranking wasn't just a number, it was a testament to his ability to overcome adversity. The emotional significance of the win was clear as Alcaraz waved to the roaring crowd in the Ariake Coliseum, the Spanish flag draped over his shoulders. It had been a long road back from the Laver Cup disappointment, and every step of this tournament was a response to that setback. The critics had questioned his resilience, but now, with the trophy in hand, Alcaraz had shown that his mental toughness was as solid as his physical game. The final against Fritz, with its high-stakes drama and intense rallies, had cemented his reputation as a player who could fight through the pressure and come out on top. Alcaraz's performance in Tokyo not only demonstrated his resilience, but also his ability to inspire. He had become more than just a world #1. He was a symbol of perseverance, showing that setbacks are just setups. For the ATP 500 Tokyo was more than just another tournament for Carlos Alcaraz. It was a proving ground. Throughout the week, his every move on court had been scrutinized, not just because he was the world #1, but because of the intense expectations surrounding him. With each victory, the weight of those expectations grew heavier. The loss at the Laver Cup had created a narrative that Alcaraz needed to silence, and he did so emphatically. His journey through the tournament highlighted not only his tactical brilliance, but his relentless focus on the bigger picture. Opponents like Baez, Tabilo, Tiafoe, and Ruud weren't just obstacles, they were tests, each one offering a unique challenge that Alcaraz had to overcome. Yet, despite the intensity of the matches, there was a calmness to his game that belied the pressure he was under. It wasn't just about winning, it was about winning with purpose. Alcaraz understood that his legacy would be defined not just by the trophies he collected, but by the resilience As Alcaraz prepared to leave Tokyo, the echoes of his victory still reverberated through the tennis world. His triumph was not just a personal redemption, it was a statement to the world that his place at the top was no fluke. The victory had deepened his legacy, confirming that he wasn't just a young prodigy with raw talent, but a champion capable of handling the immense pressure of being world #1. Each win, each challenge, was a stepping stone toward a future where he could dominate the sport for years to come. His win in Tokyo proved that even after setbacks, Alcaraz had the mental resilience to bounce back stronger. But beyond the trophy, it was his connection with the fans that made the win so special. The energy from the crowd, the flags waving in support, and the overwhelming cheers were a testament to how Alcaraz had captured the hearts of tennis fans around the world. He had become more than just a tennis player, he was an icon of perseverance, and his journey in Tokyo had solidified his place in the sport's history. But as the celebrations died down, one thing was clear: the best was still yet to come for Carlos Alcaraz. With his eyes set on new challenges, his resolve was stronger than ever. Tokyo, when Caitlin Clark first joined the Indiana Fever, nobody knew how the dynamics would unfold. But for Aliyah Boston, it was a different kind of challenge. Remember that unforgettable Final Four showdown where Caitlin dropped 40 points on Aliyah's squad? That wasn't something you could just brush off, especially when you'd soon be teammates with the player who made your team look helpless on the court. In a candid moment during the podcast, Aaliyah opens up about her initial reaction to Caitlyn joining the Fever. She doesn't hold back, admitting that she had to confront the situation head-on. "I just had to get it off my chest," Aaliyah recalls. Like, "Caitlyn, why did you have to go and drop 40 on us?" It wasn't an easy conversation, but it was necessary, especially when you're transitioning from fierce competition to locker room camaraderie. But what happens next isn't what you might expect. Instead of tension or resentment, there was an unexpected burst of laughter, a shared understanding, and even a little humor. It's a moment that shows just how grounded and real Aaliyah is, and how quickly she was able to shift from competitor to collaborator. They may have been on opposite sides of the court before, but in the locker room, they're on the same team, and that